What makes this violin so special? The wood of the top. 1748 was the year of the beam of a house where this wood was used to build an old house in Austria. Stay tuned to hear the whole story. So it's not a secret that actually I'm from Austria and I made my elementary and high school in Austria, and one of my schoolmates was Werner Ebenberger, and he's now a dental technician and pretty successful and very good and very interesting work. And he bought this old country house in the hillside of East Styria, and he got the house for very little, but the condition was that he had to remove that house. And it was an old building where the basement is made out of bricks and cement, or at that time what kind of cement they used. And then the upper part of the building was all wooden blocks connected to each other. Very interesting. And the roof, of course, everything out of wood. He hired a special company which is specialized on taking apart old house and moves the house. He moves that house from one side of the valley to another one. And when they did that, they decided that they just exchanged the original beams with new, fresh, better conditioned wood. So that wood, the main beam of the building, was carved in 1748. While they had to cut the wood, he actually thought, wow, this wood, maybe, who knows, maybe it's of interest for Edgar, and he just gave me one block. And in the beginning, it was a square, big block. So I got this square, big block. It was, for the size, actually very light. Now that I lift it up, these pieces here, which are the only ones remaining, I actually have to say, I don't feel it that light anymore. But at the time, I remember that when I put it into my car, I just thought, wow, such a big piece, and it's actually very light. And since in violin making everybody is always convinced that the more the wood is seasoned, the better it will sound, I just thought, yeah, well, let's make out of it a violin. Once back in Cremona, we're talking about 10, 15 years ago, maybe even some more years, when you cut it off in parts and you look how it should be, you saw all the damages of the worm, and the reason that they sorted out this wood was because it was eaten by parasites and worms. So then actually there's not so much over. There's one piece which looks nice, but then there is one part of carved in of this construction of the roof and things like this. So here you couldn't make a violin, but it looks like a nice piece. And the other ones are all cracked a lot, have some things you don't wish to have on your violin. And so I had, out of this big block, a lot of pieces, which sometimes my students who didn't know the story said, Maestro, you can put this into the oven and you can heat it up, nobody would ever make a violin out of it. And they said, no, don't touch this, because it's actually very, very large, the years. So it's not I would say, a wood which, when you go for tree shopping as a violin maker, you would choose this wood to make an instrument out of it. But still, it's very interesting that if you work with it, it's like it is outside, it is also inside. It's already very well seasoned, and aging has made its part, and it's all pretty dark. You don't need to make tough antiquing. You put a layer of varnish and it's already dark. And that was even here with the violin actually the case. I didn't have to varnish a lot here, this whole instrument. That the top was already very, immediately took the right varnish, and is already pretty dark now actually if I look at it. But it looks interesting. It has a nice texture. It's very large. In Germany, nobody would make an instrument out of so large wood, because they are convinced that the fine grain is just something very particular and only for the best masters, and then it will sound very great. Here in Italy, people always took it a little bit more easy. You can actually make out of every piece of wood, you can make a great sounding instrument. Once you know how it is moving, how it is, its properties, then you adapt to it, and then you can make a great sounding instrument. Because material is one part, craftsmanship, experience, and the way how you build it is the major part, for a great sounding instrument. But I think it has a nice story to tell. I even wrote inside of the instrument that it is made out of this wood, and exactly the address where it is in East Styria, close to Steins. Let's hear the instrument. Why I took a Stradivari marble? It's a good question. Because I could have taken, let's say, a testore. I was a little bit tempted to make a testore out of it, or maybe just a late Guarnieri. But somehow I thought the wood itself, to understand better how much this wood is influencing its sound, I thought that if I take a beautiful, perfect Stradivari shape, and I put a top like this on it, that it gives us a better idea of what this piece of wood makes out of it. So I thought you don't have to exaggerate here now, another Guarnieri and another rough work and whatever. It's not a double bass, so I think it's nice to have a Stradivari, brave, beautiful, and with this rough top. I think that makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting. And combined with a one-piece bag of very well seasoned maple, I think it's great. And here then I fit these super deluxe pegs, hand carved. Every peg is handmade, a little bit different than to another one from Les Bois de Harmonie from France. I think it's a nice novel touch to the entire instrument. Yeah. Oh damn, I forgot. Another very particular thing, I will not repeat it too often, but I just thought something I was always thinking of doing one day is to make the neck out of two jointed pieces. So along the neck you have a central line, and this central line is exactly in the middle, and there are two pieces of wood glued together. Then you obtain this part of this block of wood, and out of that one, and then I made the scroll. So now when you look from the front here, now please don't look that the pegs are not ready yet. You don't actually see that there is a center joint just in the middle of the, here on the neck, you can see it. There is this center line. Yeah, this instrument is not actually made on the purpose that it has to be a quick seller. It's more something that I just thought, let's do it, and then I can say, I even did this one, you know, I like these particular instruments, like decorated instruments, and now here this one, or wood made out of very well seasoned wood, which is the next, which I will show you very soon. Yeah? Hold on, don't stop the video, move your mouse and click on subscribe, or just move your finger and subscribe. You owe me that. I want to see here 100,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thanks for subscribing. See you soon. Bye-bye.